I'm going to answer that question, and it's actually not as difficult as you would think it is.
Good afternoon. I'd like to ask a two-part question. I know you only have 90 seconds, so do the best you can with it. Describe your understanding of due process for residential concerns and the duty to establish system integrity as it pertains to town ordinances, policies, and procedures. That's the first part. And what will you do to manage lead when those two are in conflict, i.e. the residents want something, they have a concern versus the process of addressing that concern?
So I'm going to answer that question, and it's actually not as difficult as you would think it is. It's a question of what is due process and how do you deal with due process? And the key thing of due process is there's a process, and that's the important part. I've always said that communities work best when there is a process and we follow those processes. Processes are there to ensure that there is fairness, transparency, and most importantly, consistency with how things are done. When you step outside of the process, that's where it becomes problematic because things such as favoritism or, creeping in issues as to whether or not this is because of friendship or other things start to creep in. So with due process, there's a process. The second part of due process, quite frankly, is the opportunity to be heard. And it's that opportunity to be heard that is absolutely critical. It gives us a chance to hear what is going on. I'll say it again and say it repeatedly. Process is the thing that we can all use to protect ourselves. It keeps unnecessary bias from influencing decisions, and it provides a safety measure for people to understand that when decisions are made, feelings weren't the things that were driving the decisions. Facts, data, and most importantly, fairness were driving that decision.